all right, go get us a goal. And I feel like he can use that big body frame to get ahead on the ball, and say for a free kick or a corner. He has these strengths. He is big, he is tall, and we should use his strengths to our advantage. He's not the fastest guy on the pitch, but he's big and he's tall.
You
Two
know what
things I like.
confuses
Hold
me,
on,
though?
are we even going to need speed other than other than England?
Right?
Because honestly, if we play against Wales, their game plan is to sit back, even if some people out
Same with
there,
Iran.
analysts, think they have
Iran's
better.
gonna sit back.
Exactly. So we're gonna have to break people down anyway.
So that's a good point. So this is making me wonder why not involve Jordan Peacock, but he's not integrated into the system. They didn't involve him, and that to me is more on Gregg Berhalter and his identification system of talent, and the fact that is the best striker for the U.S. men's national team being left at home. Is it Malik? Is it Malik?
No, I would say Sargent's the best. I actually was like super down on Sargent for the last couple years, and that's just like recently changed. You know, like his club situation sucks, man. Honestly, Pookie is a legend, but like they should have just moved on once they brought in Sargent. Because look what happens when they play him in position. He bangs home goals, and then they throw him on the wing, and Pookie starts banging in goals, and they go, "Why isn't Sargent starting?" Well, because your game plan gives the goals to the striker. You know, like it's just what it is.
Now, do you guys think we will score goals this World Cup?
That's a good question.
We
won't defend goals.
Jump up and down for in my live streams this World Cup.
You know what?
So.
I gotta hope so, because you know what? The U.S. men's national team, the reason they stuck it out with Berhalter is because of that reason. They wanted someone to install some sort of tactical plan to score goals. Has that plan worked out? Have we seen this team score goals? Yes, we've seen this team score goals, but they've also not against inferior opponents so many times that makes us very, very much question their ability to do it when the time matters most. However, as we all know, all friendlies are garbage. All friendlies are practice. All friendlies, it's hard to get your dick hard for it. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like to put it in French terms, but it's just. Can the U.S. get their dick hard enough for the World Cup to fuck things up? I think they can.
I love this analogy, by the way.
And with this type of roster, there's enough lube here. There's enough extends.
You were sponsored by Blue Chew.
There's enough Blue Chew in this roster to get something done. I don't believe in the coaching. That is my number one. To me, that's the fatal flaw.
Hold on.
For me,
I would agree, but I'll say this: I am a Gregg hater. Well, not hater. Like, I liked him as a player.
You're a Gregg doubter. I'm a
doubter. Coach, like everyone else on the internet.
You've had him as a coach, Konor, so you could speak to experience with that. Even though you're more of a new Columbus fan, all the same, he's your coach. He was one of your ex-coach.
Well, wait, who won the cup? Was that Caleb or was that Gregg?
Gregg never won a cup.
Okay. I am a Gregg hater, but I would or not hater, but I'm not a believer. But I will say this: in the one bit of defense I'll make, I feel like our goal scoring woes have more to do with the fact that we're so young and young players are streaky.
Yes.
You know, like look at how strong Belgium has been. This is like their last hurrah with the golden generation. Well, like, you know, they have not had great showings all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like not now. I'm saying like back in the day when they were the age that our guys are, they were very streaky back then. They were good. They were bad. They would score. They would not. And I will admit, I feel like in this one instance, Gregg is a little bit off the hook, and it's more of our youth and inexperience.
Well, yeah, I would agree. Well, anyways, guys, I got to dip. It's 10:12. I got a sink full of dishes. I'm tired.
Oh, no.
Of everything under the sun.
Well, Konor, you take care of yourself, my man. I'm going to go play God of War in a little bit myself.
Before you go, Toke, Is that the new God of War?
Oh yeah, dude. I picked it up today. I was gonna stream it while we were doing this, but I just was like, nah, dog.
No, you
So
should have.
Yeah, Friday night, man. I'm gonna be
Dude,
streaming God of War.
oh my gosh, dude, you should have, dude. With this kind of what we were talking, with that type of conversation that we just had, that would have been gangbusters, man.
Yeah. We are on your channel. We are esteemed guests on your channel.
No. If your content is your content, whatever. This is also, you own a little bit of this as well. I do what I can. At a certain point, I lost control of this channel. I still have super creative control. Oh my gosh, I could say we're doing this, we're doing that, but like at a certain point, like the control of the channel was kind of wrested away from me, and it's kind of with all of us. It's like you, DBG, it's all of us who watch and make this thing happen. It's just like,
what do they call that? A community, right?
Yeah, it's a community, and it's kind of the consistency that we've had here. That helps, and the consistency of our you guys just showing up and coming over to talk and having a little talk. This is so much fun. This is so. So
hold on, before you run off, Connor. I gotta know, man.
Connor, are you still here?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So what does a 19-year-old do with his Wednesday evening? Like, what are we talking? Like, what's there to do in Columbus? Like, we
small
going out.
Town, absolutely nothing.
That's weak. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be something.
I mean,
fishing.
Yeah. Do you go to school? You doing the college thing?
No, I did not.
Oh,
do
good
that.
on you. No. Good for you.
Connor, do you want to talk about that for a second, or do you not want to talk about it?
Talk about what?
The college thing, because I'm curious about the college thing as well.
In my opinion, well,
us old farts are curious how you youngins are feeling about it.
First of all, college is expensive, all right? And I don't know, I looked at a few schools, but the schools I looked at, it was all like sports management or journalism or something like that. I wanted to do specifically sports broadcasting because I interned for a company who is now no longer of existence, who covered my high school's conference. And I did all of our boys basketball home games, which was a lot of fun. I believe I sent you a video, James.
Yep.
I think I did. And that was a lot of fun. I did a couple football games, which is also fun. So in reality, my passion lies in commentary. I want to do play-by-play. That is my.
Which side of the play-by-play? Because there's kind of like 4 sides of play-by-play. I feel like there's not just direct play-by-play. There's the color commentary. I'm sorry. Go on.
I'm talking about like John Strong. You know what I mean?
No, clarify. Go on.
Direct play-by-play.
Okay.
Yeah, like not color commentary.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like that's not me. I want to tell people what's going on, this and that, whatever. When I interned for this company, I had we played in a conference called the SVC, the Scioto Valley Conference, which was like a couple of schools were on the Scioto Valley River, mostly Southern Ohio schools. I did what was called a SVC trivia fact, kind of like the Aflac trivia question you see for college football.
Right.
Every week, I would pick a question that was SVC related, and I would ask the question at a timeout, and then at the next timeout, I would give the answer. So it's like a nice little interactive thing. And I think at one time, our peak concurrent viewers for a game I was doing was like 250.
Whoa.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
That was the game that we upset the number 2 team in our conference.
Oh.
And that was an overtime game too.
Nice.
So,
Toke, do you remember back in me and Toke can reminisce real quick? I mean, back in the day, I mean, just back in Illinois high school football history, like, we didn't really stand a chance, but, like, there were guys who sometimes went pro occasionally that we heard of.
Mhm.
But, like, football in Illinois was... It doesn't, to me, it didn't feel the same as it does in Alabama, but still.
Oh, no, dude. Illinois is all about the basketball, dude. I grew up in Peoria where
that's what it is, isn't
where
it?
like Manual was,
that's what I was getting
you know,
at.
Hoop Dreams?
Mm-hmm.
That's that Manual team, right?
Mhm.
Like, we're from Peoria, like Sean Livingston, who was on the Golden State for a long time. Kevin Garnett grew up in Chicago. Like, you know what I mean? You got the University of Illinois, Flying Illini, dude. Like, this state was all about the basketball.
I think so too.
And like, especially like where I'm from.
There was a lot of football roots, though. There was definitely, I mean, I was by Providence, and so there was a lot of football roots out there. But
I went to a school called Limestone. Nothing. We were terrible all the time, dude. Awful.
And then
Sounds
also,
like
we would.
sounds like my school.
I played in Catholic. I played Catholic ball. But so I would sometimes run against some good players that would get pilfered typically. By the good public teams like Thornton or what is it? What are the good public teams in Chicago? Thornton, Thornwood. Those are like the D Rose teams.
Oh no, Glenbrook. Oh no, yeah, Glenbrook would be good, but like Simeon. That's where Derrick Rose went.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude, I saw. Oh my god, dude. So, I had this job, was working for an electrical contractor, right? And the boss had tickets to the high school basketball tournament was in Peoria for a long time, right?
Yes.
It was in Champaign forever, then it moved to Peoria. And then he gave me tickets for the Derrick Rose game, like his senior year, versus there was this other kid at Glenbrook North or Glenbrook West. I can't remember which. The one out by like Glen Ellen or whatever, right? But that kid was John Shire. He was going to Duke.
Oh,
so
Shire. Yeah.
So you John Shire versus Derrick Rose. He gave me tickets to that game.
Woo,
and
that's
I was
a
like,
fun game.
Well, and
man.
here's the best part. He hands me the tickets. I was like, oh man, hey, are these good? Or like, is that why did they suck? Is that why you're giving them to me? He just looked at me. He goes, no, you'll be able to see. Dude, they were front row on the other side from the benches, dude. It was insane to see like Derrick Rose as a high school senior. Like,
and the atmosphere had to be crazy too.
No, it was cool, man. I got to admit, it was definitely cool. So me and my pops went. I took my pops, and we had a really good time.
That's sick.
Dude,
that's awesome.
Did either of you guys play high school sports?
I played high school soccer and rec league basketball in high school, winning championships. I was the backup goalkeeper in high school, all the way up until junior year. But I played beyond junior year and like higher stakes. Like it didn't make sense. Like my career didn't make sense. Like I stopped being a goalie and started playing the field again, and I went back to dominating because I was small, and I was like, how can I get on the field? But I was small and I had good soccer mentals. So like, everybody has their different skills. Some people are really good with their physicality. Some people are really fast. Some people are really good with scoring goals. I was not. I was really good at defense, and I was really good at knowing how to shut down and how to create. Like I was that guy. Like I could shut down and create. Like I knew how to pass very well. I was one of the best passers always on the team. I was always good at free kicks, but I was also slow. I was also so fucking slow.
Well, yeah, I mean, it happens.
So it's like, how do you fit? So where do you put me? Like, I'm a good, smart, cerebral player. I would typically play in the midfield usually.
Oh, I played left back for JV and varsity like the whole time. That was all I did was play left back.
All you did was play left back? I played center back. I played striker. I played midfield. I played
center back. Dude, my cousin
I'm 5
had
foot short, dude. Yeah.
My cousin was laughing at me because saw him and his girl and their kids or whatever, and they had this board from the other house where they were measuring how tall the girls were, and he was like, "Oh, come on up here and let's see how tall you are." Put me on the board, and he started to write the year, and I was like, "Yeah, you could put 1998 if you wanted." Like I have been 5'5" and this exact same since sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, I'm about 5'9", 5'10". I'm right in between there. I really haven't grown, but I mean, I've always been right around there. Not the tallest. But the one thing that I always had, mad hops. I almost couldn't dunk. When I was young, I could dunk. But
See,
I lost that as I grew older.
I played 1 year of basketball. That was my 8th grade year. I sat the bench.
How tall are you, Connor? Aren't you tall, Connor?
I'm 5'7".
Oh no, you're not tall. So yeah, you would be 5'7". No, I'm not being insulting because I'm not tall either.
No, I know, just the way you said that was funny.
Okay, so you're not tall.
Like, so for instance, like right now, I'm 5'7", 135.
But Connor, weren't you a goal scorer too? Weren't you a prolific goal scorer? Which is interesting that to me, striker is one of those positions that like you could be 5'5", 5'8", 6 foot, 6'2", 6'4". All sorts of body types will excel in that position. Midfield, you got to be kind of smaller. I want to say between 5'5" to 6'2". I don't want to be taller than 6'2"
over
in
the
midfielder.
Course of 4 years, I scored a total of 20.
Wow.
Like, assist.
What would you say was your forte? Your pace or your skill? Which one of those two?
I was a poacher.
You're a poacher, so it's more. So it's a little bit about both when you're a poacher, because it's about acceleration and reaction.
I never really started until my junior and senior year, though.
Toke?
Oh no, I feel you on that. I played most of I actually played both JV and varsity.
Yeah, we didn't have a JV team.
Oh, okay.
We never did. We only had varsity.
So I want to tell a story, but I'm just gonna leave it at this. Have you ever heard of the pitcher Doc Ellis?
Oh, dude, it's a great story, and dude, this is totally, you could talk about it.
Okay,
it's
so
on
yeah,
YouTube.
that
There's
happened
like a 10
to me.
minute. Okay, the Doc Ellis story, by the way, just long story short, Doc Ellis was a really good pitcher. He didn't accidentally. He on purpose ingested some LSD. And didn't think he was pitching that day.
And pitched a no-hitter.
His girlfriend kicks him, and he's like on the side of the pool. His girlfriend kicks him and says, "Hey, you're pitching today." She shows him the paper. His name's listed as the starting pitcher in the game that's playing later. That he's like, "Oh shit." He gets over to the game. He's moseying over. He's looking at the little catcher. He's like, it's just like the catcher looks so small to him. Because he's laced on LSD, he goes ahead to pitch a no-hitter on LSD. It's one of the funniest stories you will see on YouTube. Look up Doc Ellis no-hitter on LSD.
Oh, dude,
chat saying
they had a
love
documentary on Netflix called No, and that thing is freaking incredible.
There's an additional one. The cartoon on what is it? The cartoon on YouTube is amazing. Just shows
it's like
his
an
stars.
hour. It's like an hour and 10-minute documentary.
I might have to check that out.
Yeah, it's like it's legit and like it's amazing. But that kind of happened to me because every now and again, I wasn't a bad kid, but I partied in high school. So every now and again,
I don't know what that means.
So every now and again,
I don't know what that means. I'm kidding. Don't explain what that means. We all know what that means.
So every now and again, we'd be at school, and me and a couple of friends, we'd call them off days, and we'd do that.
Yeah.
And I forgot I had a game that night.
Oh man, you pulled a straight Doc Ellis. A Doc
I
LSD.
I wasn't nearly as successful. I'll put it that way.
Archduke put Doc LSD. Wow, that's a great comment, Archduke.
I'm like, dude, I couldn't believe it. The coach pulls me out after how like high school soccer, it's like you can come in and out. Pulls me out after like 15 minutes. He goes, "The hell is wrong with you?"
It's like,
oh my god, dude, you had to be you were making runs for ghost balls.
Like it was like there was a throw in and I just completely misjudged it type of thing. And he was just like pulled me up. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Oh man.
It's like nothing, dude. I'm fine.
I played rec soccer on alcohol once. Actually, okay, not on once, but a few times. And I gotta say, every time I played on soccer and alcohol, not fun. There's other more illegal substances nowadays that are amazing, like cannabis that I played soccer on and I've done amazing and absolutely and actually I'm starting to wonder about NFL players and some players because some of these players look absolutely stoned coming off the sideline, and I don't want to be like, hey, blow up their spot. I just want to be like, hey, it should be legal for everybody. Like,
it should be perfectly fine for them to do that, man. It should be
perfectly fine.
I feel you on the alcohol thing because I've never been a huge fan of alcohol. Period. Like that's just not my thing.
I enjoy it. I enjoy alcohol, but I also when it comes to sporting events, it doesn't enhance my sporting events as much as it enhances my showers and my nightlife. When it comes to cannabis, cannabis is maybe a performance enhancing drug.
I feel you. That I will say I hyperextended my knee playing indoor soccer my sophomore year, which was amazing because to try and help keep me out of trouble, my parents were like, you have to do a sport every, time. So like after soccer season, I didn't want to do nothing else, but like they forced me to do track for like freshman year.
Wait, you broke your knee and they made you do track?
No. That was freshman year. I had to do track, and the idea was I was going to do soccer and track throughout high school.
That makes sense.
And
okay,
then,
right.
And then I'm playing indoor soccer because let's
run this guy to death. Let's run this guy to death.
Right,
that's the plan.
And I hated track, dude. Like not that I just. It was like fast enough that like, okay, maybe you'll get better at this, but I was still slow enough that like, no, you'll never be better at this, So it's like it sucked, and then like I hyperextended my knee and I got to skip my sophomore year.
Guys, run the show for 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
No.
The show.
Oh shit. So Connor, do you have any wild stories for us?
I don't. I was squeaky clean in high school.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
I never, usually when you're in high school, you can tell who certain people are. And I just...
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. I think that's my cats. Yeah, the cats are...
Oh, I love cats.
They're my sister's cats.
Yeah,
they chase each other around at night. Anyway, I just avoided those types of kids. I never really... I just hung around the same people is what I'm trying to say.
No, I feel you. That was the one good thing about being, for lack of a better term, a part of like the stoner group is like there was like one kid or a couple kids in every other kind of clique that liked to do that as well. So then like we had friends everywhere, right? You know what I mean? Because it was just like kind of
another thing that nobody told me is that like everything changes after high school. Like everybody you knew and talked to, like I know somebody who's engaged. I know somebody who one of my good friends, she's expecting now. It's like, where did all this go? You know what I mean?
I feel you, man. Like life moves fast. Like
I know, except for me, I'm just a single, skinny white kid, and doing soccer streams on the internet. But
I mean, it is what it is. Like that. I mean, I got married kind of young. Like I met my ex-wife when I was 20.
So how old were you when you got married?
Let's see here, because I got married in 2011.
I'm back, by the way.
82 to 2011. How old was I? Like 29.
You're showing your age. 82.
You know what's awesome though is that we do have such an amazing. We got chat going up to almost over 60. We got all the way down to 20s. We have a wider range of men in our group.
It's a wide net, man. But like, Konor, don't stress about any of that kind of shit, because I'll put it this way, like like a couple years after high school, I kind of had a falling out with my whole friends group, and just didn't talk to them from like '03 until literally this year. Like,
Dude, life changes.
My girl like was just like, you gotta have a Facebook, because I never had a Facebook. I just paraded, I gallivant on the internet at FC Neo Tokyo. So no one ever found me. I never found anybody else. So I start this Facebook and just start reconnecting with folks. And now, like, I'll go down to see my parents and go out for a night on the town with some of the old crew, man. It's been cool.
I'll say this. Number one thing, family. Make sure you call your grandma. Make sure
I visit my parents, not my parents, my grandparents twice a week.
That is, you know what? That is incredible, and you know that
sometimes 3 times a week.
That'll kind of grow with you. I've always been a grandma's boy, so I have a little bit of that in me too.
You still have your grandparents?
I have I actually do not have my parents. I only have my grandparent. I have I have half of my grandparents.
Oh,
I no longer have my parents, unfortunately. That's happened.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, bud.
I don't talk about that often, as you guys know, but yeah, it is the most significant bummer. It is absolute. It just words don't contain the pain sometimes, but the fact of the matter is, you enjoy the time you had with it. It changes different perspectives. It makes you grow. The life comes at you with so many different things. And the other thing is, I might not have my parents, but I am lucky enough to have two of my grandparents, and my nephew at least has some as their great grandparent. So it's always perspective, right?
Right, it is perspective. Like by the time I was 23, I lost all 4 of my grandparents. Dude, right, but like, my parents are still, like, my dad was 40 when I was born. He's 80 right now, dude. So like,
oh my goodness,
I can't believe they're still around. But
like, appreciate them, and for coming from me, who doesn't have my parents, I always say, appreciate them, love them, give them, and so now I've got, I love hard on my grandparents because my parents aren't here, and I want to say this, because this channel is me, this channel is us, and I gotta say, hey, if you haven't talked to your people, just call them. Just go for it. These are your people. We can get over it. Blood is thicker than water. And some of my best friends on the planet, it's the same fucking rule applies. Blood is thicker than water, because at a certain point, our friendship, it became family.
You choose family, dude, because people are born into shitty people. But if you're born into decent people, that's like a head start.
You've talked about this, right? You've talked about this. Like, family sometimes is not. Sometimes people have family that's not so great. Like, if you've some people that you need to cut out, sometimes you need to cut them out for better or for worse, right? But at the same time, you can build and cultivate a little bit of a garden with some of the greatest people that you've met in your life, and keep them there. But the other thing is that sometimes we grow. We got other shit going on. A lot of my friends, they have kids all of a sudden, so it's like, we don't have so much time to go have a beer with the old boys so much. So but what has still maintained those, like, you could call those guys up and be like, and they're still one of your best boys, and you could kind of pick it up. As you grow older, you find that you're able to pick it up with so many people that you may have lost track of, but like, bam, one quick phone call, bam, you're back on the trolley.
So the way, so for me, I'm gonna get kind of deep here after this. So like, for me, as you guys know, I'm a single man, whatever, and all my friends have.
Konor, do you want to disclose? Because do you like girls or boys? I mean, like, I like girls.
I don't lean the straight way.
And I know Neo likes girls. And so, and this is a safe place for that type of conversation. Like,
oh, most certainly.
Like me and you got 2 buddies here.
Yeah.
And I know you've told me this in the past, so I didn't know if you were comfortable talking about it on stream.
I don't lean that way, but for me, I've had my fair share of shitty people. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yes.
unaccepting people who aren't willing
No,
to.
not like that. I'm talking about like guys I've talked to. Like they've all like one guy wanted money, well another guy wanted this, and another guy was just a complete. Just stop talking to me. Just
Really?
completely. Yeah.
So you're in a different world than we are, because I mean the way we have to the way we interacted with girls 10, 20 years ago is very different than the way we kind of interact with girls nowadays. Don't you agree, Neo Tokyo? So it's kind of like we're in new worlds, all of us, in a way.
I actually, I'm not gonna break my rotator cuff patting myself on the back, but I've never understood some of that stuff. Like maybe I was slightly more thirsty, but like I also vividly remember anytime somebody would like make fun of a girl, be like, she's a whore, or she's a slut, I'm just like, shh, shut up. Isn't that what we want? Like, what are you doing?
I
You
was
know what
never.
mean?
I
Like-
was not like that. I was not like that. But I also. I mean, I. It's nice when you've done well, and the other thing is, it sounds like you've done well, and the other thing is, for you, Konor, it sounds like you met some crappy people, but guess what? That's not the whole thing. That's not. You will find some genuine. You will find some amazing. You will find some, and all. You being so young, we're coming at it from 20 years plus from where you're at. Think about that. Almost 10, 20 years plus, basically. That's both of me where Neo Tokyo are. And in that 10 and 20 years, it's like, think about Tokyo. Hasn't it been like, I'm playing a little. I'm hoping Mrs. Spitfire's not watching right now. I know she's not here right now. So I know she's not here right now. But like, man, I've been with Mrs. Spitfire for damn near over just about a decade, boys and girls. So like, that's been huge.
Well, congratulations, bud.
Absolutely.
It's
Appreciate
tough.
that.
Like
It's
I did
tough.
17. I did 17 years with somebody.
You
and
did
it's-
17 years of marriage.
Well, no, I wasn't married the whole time.
No, you weren't
Like,
married the whole time, but
Yeah.
there is we'll talk about, maybe we'll talk about that in a second. But the difference between marriage and dating, because there is a little bit of a difference.
Oof, I was terrified to get back out on the scene, man. Like my girl now, we're engaged, right? And we've been together for over 2 years at this point, and we got together and she's like, oh yeah, I Googled you. And I was like, I've been out of the dating game so long, I didn't even think to Google anybody.
Konor, did you ever consider that?
What do
Like-
you mean?
When I used to date people back before I met Mrs. Spitfire, I mean, like, this was in the days of Google. We were Googling people. Like, we would Google the person we would go on a date with. Have you done that?
No.
I think you have to at this
You
time.
got.
Like,
You kind of think about that. Think about that.
Konor-
Think about adding that to your repertoire.
Konor,
I've never
how-
been on a real date, so
Well, you're still young, dude. You don't realize you're so young.
Well, yeah,
Real-
true. But
real-
is
real
it is it
dates
hard?
coming.
Do you think is Columbus hard? Like, is there like not a huge scene there, or at least a huge out scene?
That's the question.
I don't pay attention. Honestly, I really don't.
Well, the question is, it's like, what are you seeking, Konor? And like, I mean, we don't have to get deep into this. Is the only deep is you want to get, and if you want to say, like, you know, let's save this for another, off stream, save it for off stream. But that's what Neo's Tokyo's saying there. Rephrase your question again, Neo Tokyo.
Well, no, I was just saying, is it like hard there? Like, does Columbus not have a big scene? And then I kind of
Chicago's
stop myself
huge,
and-
by the way.
and
Like,
say, like,
Chicago's, there's so many scenes that are big. That's a good question.
like, yeah, it is the scene of people who are out
Because
not big
the
in that area.
culture does play into how you interact with it.
I don't
So-
know. So the main way of communication between people of my generation is Snapchat. Like I talk to my friends on there all the time. It's easy, it's convenient, whatever. The thing that scares me is, well, among other things, like for me, I'm a nice guy, and I open to somebody way too quickly.
You've always
And it's
struck me
like-
as a nice guy. You strike me as what me and Neo Tokyo are. Like, we love, and when we let people in, we're like, hey, Welcome.
Well, Connor, if I can give you my old man advice,
I want
that
to hear
took a
it.
while to figure out, is just always know what exactly you want, because like there is no problem with just.
But
Like,
Neo Tokyo, you know how hard that is at 19.
Well, yeah, but like but you got to.
What I wanted at 19 versus what I wanted at 22 versus what I wanted at 25 versus what I wanted at 28 versus what I wanted at 30 versus what I wanted at 34. Those are kind
You're
of
just
like
showing your age.
No, I feel you. I guess my whole point was
You know
like
what I
be
mean?
honest about it, because there ain't no problem with saying, "Yo, this is just a one night thing," or like, "Yeah, that was fun, but that's it," or like,
it's
"Yo,
different though when
I'm
you're
into
young.
you. I want to be with you."
Like when I'm young, I'm thinking like, oh man, I'm trying to find. When I was young, I was like, and the crazy thing, when I was young, I didn't find my someone, but I always thought I was gonna find my someone, and I found my someone.
Oh no, I was a whore.
I wasn't. Oh, DPG, dude, we're talking sex, love, and like growing up. Just like a little old man advice for Connor as he grows up, as well as like stuff that you and me, us 30, 40-year-olds have dealt with women, with people, with and with just love life in general. I mean that is applicable to everybody.
DPG got himself a family. You are in love. You have a young one.
Yeah.
He's
Can't complain.
I gotta say that's the aim for me. I would love to get. I know Tokyo was asking me about this before on one of the past podcasts. He was asking me like, "Hey man, do you guys want to have a kid?" I'm like, I would love for us to have a kid. I don't know if we're gonna be able to. We're gonna have to figure that out when it's possible. But like,
I mean,
there's hope. And like when I saw Pat McAfee with his wife, he was talking about it earlier today, guys. Pat McAfee and his wife talking about their troubles with having kids, and it was an inspiration. I gotta say, it was just an inspiration to see as someone who was a similar boat and somewhat.
And there's always different options when it comes to that too. It's not like you don't have options.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree. My pops was adopted, so I've always been pro.
I think I've got people in my family that might have been adopted. I'm sorry to interrupt, Connor.
I have family who's adopted, but anyway, like for people like me, there's a thing called surrogacy.